roots of rock and roll are the blues. Robert Johnson, Muddy Waters, and Lightning Hopkins were all blues masters who contributed to laying down the foundation of what we know as rock and roll today. Years later, in the early days of rock and roll, acts such as Little Richard and Chuck Berry created a more aggressive sound. This led to more experimentation with sounds such as reverb, distortion, and other effects. Jimi Hendrix, who is essentially just a blues guitar player, was among the first to experiment with these new tools. The evolution of rock and roll has been very dramatic. However, no matter how much it progresses, rock and roll will always be a product of the blues. In a nutshell, the blues is just uneducated music, with the emphasis being more on soul than technicality. In fact, the blues is so musically simplistic that you only need to know one scale to be able to play them. That scale is called the pentatonic scale. Rock and roll is also essentially uneducated music. The similarities between the two genres are vast, lyrically, musically, and in terms of subject matter. In fact, many famous covers of blues songs have been resurrected by famous rock bands, such as Led Zeppelin's interpretation of When the Levee Breaks. Just like the blues, for rock and roll, you only need to run the pentatonic scale. I'm now going to play you a blues lick in the pentatonic scale. I'll be doing this on an acoustic guitar, so it'll be more bluesy. So this is going to be an A. Now I'm going to play y'all another lick in the same scale, but this time we're going to use a little bit of distortion and amplification. On the acoustic guitar, you can see what the music sounds like stripped down and raw. Hopefully, I was able to illustrate how rock and roll is how rock and roll is based in blues.
Turn on the volume.
Hopefully, I was able to illustrate how rock and roll is not just based in the blues, but how it is the blues with electricity.